This is Maya Santangelo, and this is Meet the Ocean Encounters. So I have been diving nearly half my life. I am a professional diver, an instructor, and a guide, and I was the 2016 Australasian Rolex Scholar for the Our World Underwater Scholarship Society. And I'm also an informal science nerd and ocean lover. What I love about the ocean is that no matter how much time I spend underwater, it never gets old. There's always something to surprise me and shock me and totally blow my mind with how amazing it is. I recently spent a season working as a professional guide in the Revillagigedo archipelago, also known as the Socorro Islands, off of the Pacific coast of Mexico. And this is about 300 miles southwest of Cabo, and it's incredibly remote, very far away from any civilization and human impact, apart from the occasional illegal fishing. But it is really in the tropical Eastern Pacific. This is Mexico's Galapagos. This archipelago is made up of 4 islands: Socorro Island, San Benedicto Island, Roca Partida, and Clarion Island. And if you ask anyone, Roca Partida is probably the one that stands out for most of the divers. This is less an island and more of a rock, just jutting out of the ocean, and from the surface does not look like much. But underwater, it's this incredible roundabout for life to just stop over on their migration around the ocean and move on to the next place. So it's this hotspot in the absolute middle of nowhere. So being a rock sticking out in the middle of nowhere, it is very susceptible to very strong currents. And this is what brings to life, but makes it a really interesting and sometimes challenging place to dive. And my favorite dive here at Roca Partida was late in the afternoon. Current was coming really strong from the north that day, so we took our skiffs and drove as far north as we could. Dropped in and just decided to see what we could see drifting out in the blue. For the first probably half hour, drifting in the blue in the middle of nowhere, we were surrounded by about 30 schooling silky sharks. And the cool thing about being underwater is there's certain senses that play into how you take in the underwater environment. It's usually just sight and touch, but it can totally be sensory overload, and you forget that sound plays a big part as well. And we were cruising along, and you can hear the reef. So we started getting closer to the rock, and you hear the crackling. And it's late in the afternoon, so the light's really low, and so there's a lot more activity going on. So the white-tip reef sharks are starting to move around the rock, and massive schools of jacks being darted around by larger predators as well. And the larger giant trevally and black jacks and the huge yellowfin tuna would dart through the smaller schools of jacks, and you hear total audible whooshes as they go past and darting and picking off prey here and there. So there's an incredible sensory overload. And we're starting to go up, and all of a sudden you can see light silvery bellies of scalloped hammerheads coming up from the deep to meet us. And this school of about 30 to 50 scalloped hammerhead sharks just started swirling around us. And it was the most amount of time I've ever spent with a school of scalloped hammerheads, out in the blue no less. And it was this image of, this is what a healthy ocean should look like. 70, 80 minutes later, we finally had to go up, and made sure I was the last one out, because it was one of those dives that you surfaced only because you had to. It can definitely be of two hearts, being in this position of getting to see what the underwater world looks like, good, bad, or otherwise, but it's moments like this where you see how incredible the ocean and nature can be when you leave it alone. It's moments like these that remind you that this is what we're fighting for, this is what it should look like, and this is how special it is to see it and how it should be.
Meet the Ocean Encounters is produced by Paul North and Andrew Gettings, with editing by Ashley Karitis, sound design by Kelsey Anderson, and original music by Vin Gast. With special thanks to marine biologist Maya Santangelo for sharing her saltwater story. Meet the Ocean is a listener-supported nonprofit. You can visit our website to find more podcasts, underwater videos, and other fun educational material. Also, you can support Meet the Ocean by joining its online Patreon community. For as little as $1 a month, you will gain access to rewards and exclusive behind-the-scenes content, To find out more, visit patreon.com/meettheocean. Don't forget to subscribe to never miss an episode, and please rate and review our podcast on iTunes or whatever platform you choose to listen to. And lastly, if you have a story that you would like to share on the podcast, contact us via the website or write to us at info@meettheocean.org. We thank you for listening, and until next time, may the salt water be with you.